Hello and welcome to the Complete Lakers podcast. I'm Anthony Wilson, recording from Los Angeles, California. Joining me tonight are David Galvez and Jason Big Mitch Mitchell. How you guys doing tonight?
What's up, Wilson, Mitch?
What up? What up? Feeling good, feeling great.
All right, the Lakers won their sixth in a row tonight. Tonight's victim was the Houston Rockets in Houston. The final score was, I think, 100 to 92. Lakers finished strong there after being down at the half. Good third quarter. uh, to I don't remember what the score was in the third. And like I said, then they finished strong there in the fourth. Um, they won now 9 out of 10 and six in a row. Uh, After the very emotional win over the Nuggets on Sunday. Um, Mitch, how you feeling, man? I mean, last time you were on here, you said that the Lakers, with Luca and Austin, two nuclear offensive weapons, and also with LeBron as the third option, that they are contenders. And you seem to be rather poignant in your take, um, prognostic, I should say. I mean, how are you feeling? Now you must be feeling even better, or even more strong in that opinion now.
Definitely. I mean, the the proof was in the numbers. We've all seen the numbers all over. All over the socials, all over the Twitter streets. Um, how much better the Lakers have had been uh, without LeBron. Uh, with LeBron off the floor, with just Luca and Austin, with just Luca, with just Austin. So you know, kudos to LeBron, though. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's, top five all time, and and we're asking him, hey, man, just we only need you to be a role player. What a great luxury to have. I mean, I think like having LeBron as a third option to do what he does, what he's still able to do, which is kind of, run the floor, um, you know, get some easy buckets for us. Play, you know, he hasn't really shown it, but he's been showing it, especially these last two games, especially this game, um, taking on the challenge. He was guarding KD a lot in the third quarter, um, and then the Nuggets game as well, diving on the floor for loose balls, the full extension, amazing. I mean, again, this is a guy who's, he's the leading scorer all time in the NBA. You know, every record under the sun, and we're just like, you know what? Be a role player for us. So again, I mean, it's such a luxury to have, and I mean, it makes me feel way better going into the postseason with LeBron actually buying in. I wasn't sure that he would be able to, given his stature in the league. Um, but listen, the way he's been playing, he, he is fully bought in. It looks like he's all in for this run. Um, and LeBron is a known liar. We all know this, but I guess at media day, I guess he was telling the truth, right? He said at media day, yeah, I came back to play with Austin and Luca. Um, and so, the sacrifice that he's showing, um, absolutely amazing. And you have to applaud. You have to applaud this man in his 23rd year. Um, the player that he is, being willing to, take a back seat to these guys.
Yeah. Um, so we'll take a quick break and then we'll be back with Galvez's thoughts. All right, so we're back. Galvez, uh, like I said, the Lakers are streaking. How are you feeling about
Yeah, man, just to echo what what Jason said, it's I don't know if he he had to look in the mirror and realize, look, if we're gonna make any noise in the playoffs, I need to accept the third role. Um, and but shout out to LeBron, who, you know, as much as we love Kobe, I don't think if the roles were reversed, if Kobe was still playing at 41, I don't think he would have taken the third role. You know, he would have said, "We're gonna win on my watch, we're gonna lose on my watch," and that's just the way it is. So, I think Jordan retired before he realized he wasn't gonna be top dog either. It's just these guys, these super ultra alpha players, uh, they just I don't think they can accept it. So shout out to LeBron, who also, because he is now the third option, he's just kind of standing around. He's going to be fresh for the playoffs. He's going to be fresh in the fourth quarter. Let's just hope that when it is time for playoffs, he can still keep that I'm the third option mentality.
Mhm.
Because once the playoffs, it's easy for him to feel like this in early March, mid March, when games aren't as important. We're just pretty much playing for seeding right now. But in the playoffs, do you think he can still have that mentality?
He better if he wants to get that fifth ring. Like playing like this, we can, it seems like we can beat anybody. Yeah, even the Thunder.
Well,
I
okay,
mean,
right. Oh, okay.
I
So,
was gonna say real quick, that the trade that we did for Kupo, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. That could
for,
be that one signing that literally makes the difference in a in a one playoff game where
for
the
who?
where who's the guy we traded for, the white guy who's
Oh, Luke Kennard?
there you go. I don't know. I was thinking about the other player.
Oh,
Those are the type of pickups that win you
yeah,
championship.
facts. All of a sudden, we're like, since the trade deadline, we're like one of the top shooting teams in the league.
one thing about Kennard is, and it's funny, you know, sometimes a video will come up, an old video we did where, I don't remember who was saying, but it was, our podcast. And somebody was saying, 'cause I didn't click on it, I just saw the video. I hadn't watched it. I mean, there's a clip that I put up there though. But basically, somebody was saying that the Lakers haven't had a knockdown shooter in years. This
Yeah,
Luke Kennard, anytime he's open, especially in the corner,
Yeah,
you expect him to hit. You know,
yeah.
so
Tonight, tonight was really the first night he hasn't hit
yeah,
since he joined.
uh-huh,
I expect him to go off on Wednesday. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Right. Something I talked about is that the Lakers are being gentrified. Same way as the Dodgers. The Dodgers have damn near the whole. I mean, there's only a couple black guys on the team. Mookie, who's half black, like a Derek Jeter type, kind of, but he's not as light as Derek Jeter. And then Teoscar, who's a Dominican black. You look at the Lakers now. Half the rotation guys are white guys. Really, more than half, I think. How do you guys feel
mm,
about that?
um,
as long as we're
just
winning, that's all
as
that
long
really
as we're
matters.
yeah, as long as we're winning. I mean, listen, Luka is one of the top players in the league. I think Austin's one of the top players in the league. I mean, it's hard to turn your nose up at that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who cares as long as they're hooping? I mean, Luke Kennard, I mean, he's literally changed the three-point shooting culture around the team. Like with him, like with Luke Kennard and Rui, standing out there behind the three, like teams, have to be hesitant to really double on Luca and Austin when they're attacking the rim. So I mean, it makes us really dangerous. Jake LaRavia, I will say, like, man, this guy. He's got to get his confidence back on the offensive end. That's the only thing that's really missing from Mr. LaRavia right now. Getting his 3-point shot back. I figured since he took the sleeves off today, maybe he would go back to hitting some threes. But yeah, he still seems kind of hesitant. So I would just tell him to man, man, let that bitch fly. Like, man, don't be, don't be scared. Let it fly. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, because we definitely, we can always use more threats, from behind the arc. But even
But
though
we
he
don't need
hasn't
that.
been, even though he hasn't been hitting, shots offensively, he has been a absolute demon on the offensive glass. And and his defense has always been solid, but yeah, now that he's not shooting, he's been an absolute demon on the offensive glass. And so, kudos to him, even though again, he hasn't been necessarily hitting from deep, he's still made himself, uh, he's still making himself a valuable piece of the team, and he's still being able to impact the game, even though his shot isn't necessarily falling.
And he's the type of player where his shot will fall. He's just
Yeah,
going through. It's a confidence thing. He's going through a slump. But also,
yeah,
Aiden, man,
so
that defense that he played against Joker in the late fourth overtime.
hmm
If he could just play
channel
defensively
that.
like that, where and it's crazy because defense is just attitude, effort,
hmm
and basketball IQ, right? It's just if he
Yeah,
could play like that, solid for 25, 30 minutes every
hmm
night in the playoffs. This, now I get it. We're Laker fans, so we tend to kind of get really high, get really low,
yep,
but and I know since we've been podcasting every year, we go into the playoffs thinking the only
this is
team that
it
can beat us is this team, and then we get swept in the first round, like.
for real.
But this is we got skinny Luca, we
Skinny
got
Luca, yeah, hell yeah.
we got um, Austin Reeves, who's you know, damn. I mean, how? At what point do you just say, yeah, man, he's a legit all-star caliber player? I think he already is.
Uh, he is already, hell yeah. Really quick, going back to Aiden, I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you noticed in that Nuggets game, he did not think he was coming back in. Like he took his wristband off. I don't know if you guys had noticed that, but
Yeah. Uh-huh. I was like, where did that move his arm at?
yeah, like why is his arm so bare?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't think he was coming back in the game. But I mean, honestly, shout out to him for getting out there and playing defense
And it just
on
goes to
Joker.
show he can do it if he wants
Yeah,
to.
hell
He
yeah.
can do it if Reddick can somehow just instill the confidence where it's like, look, man, you're our starting center. You're a legit
hmm
center. We
hmm
need you. You know, give him some, run some plays for him, some lobs, some easy baskets, get him going. And yeah, man, that defense he played on Joker, man, that was impressive. Very impressive.
Who knew? Who knew?
Right. Okay. We're gonna take a quick break and then we'll be right back again. All right. Welcome back. All right. Welcome back to the Complete Lakers podcast. So I just wanted to have a couple thoughts as you guys were talking. Number one, uh, since you guys were talking about the shooting, Marcus Smart also. I don't know when Marcus
Mm,
Smart became that good of a shooter, but he's been the most consistent shooter on the team who's been here the whole season. I would say from outside, So I feel like when he was in Boston, I don't think he was as good of a 3-point shooter when he was in Boston. So
not that I remember.
yeah, so he's been fantastic. And then also I wanted to say that, oh yeah, so Aiden, like that block he had on Joker in overtime, where he blocked it and then the ball
hmm
went out of bounds and he could have grabbed it and he didn't grab it, right? And then the next
Yeah,
possession, Joker, you can't give Joker another chance. He scores.
no,
Luckily, we still win the game. But yeah, that was one of those ones. I was like he Aiden himself was shocked that he blocked the Joker in that situation and just let the ball go out of bounds. Um, the other thing I was gonna
Yeah.
say is, okay, so these wins, right? Uh, the Nuggets win, yeah, it was exciting, but when is Jamal Murray ever going to play that poorly again? 5 points in
right.
36 minutes and fouled out. And one thing I'll say though is that I didn't know Mitch and God was that I thought they had stopped playing Hit the Road Jack when guys found out of the game. You know, so that felt that because when we were kids, that was always a fan favorite. When somebody would fall
Hmm.
out and they hit the road Jack, and
Yeah.
that's Ray Charles. And then when Jack would be in the stands, man, and we'd be like, "Damn, man, everything is going to Lakers favor right now." And then, but yeah, so it's kind of like a caveat to it, the fact that Jamal played that poorly. But then on the other hand, it's like the fact that we were finally able to kind of outsmart the Nuggets for once instead of the other way around. Normally, the Nuggets have won that game 9 times out of 10 the last several years against us.
Yeah.
This time we got them. And then the other thing I would say, so tonight, Shingun didn't play at all, did he?
No, he didn't.
Right. So I mean, Shingun is especially without, I forget who was sent out to the game tonight, but especially without with Van Fleet being out the whole year, since the summer. And not going to play this season. Shingun being like a point center, without him, I mean, Houston really. And that's the thing about Houston is that, and I like Reed Shepard a lot. I think he can play, but you look at them in the playoffs. It's like, are they really going to be able? How many playoff series can they really win without a true point, starting point guard?
Exactly.
People talk about Amin Thompson, but Amin Thompson playing out of position. You cannot. He's not a point guard. He's a forward. They have him playing guard because they don't really have any other. Shepard, like I said, he's a good young player, but he's not ready for, I mean, he's not ready for. I mean, he's played well, but in the playoffs, I don't think he's going to be ready. But yeah, there's like an asterisk, but it's still because they could have come out flat tonight after as much emotional as that game was on Sunday. They could have come out
Yeah.
flat tonight, but they hung in there, and they and won the game. Um,
Mm. And on the road.
yes, on the road.
And on the road.
We'll see what
Yeah.
happens on
And
Wednesday.
the good thing about this Laker team is everybody knows their role.
Hmm. Now,
And
yeah.
you know, and like I said, if LeBron can just, like I said, in the playoffs, I want to see him accept that third option. Um, and I think we'll be fine. I mean, we can't. I don't think for sure we're not catching either the Spurs or OKC. So we just gotta,
No, we're playing for
you
third.
you know.
R-
Um,
Um, but I would much
Really?
rather, I would have much rather, you know, play for matchup rather than seeding though.
Yeah.
who do we match up best against in the first round? Would we want to play Minnesota? Last year that didn't go well.
That's what I told. Yeah, that's what I was telling your boy Shane Murray. I was like, I don't know, it didn't go too well last season, but
So right
it is a.
now we would play against Minnesota. They're the sixth seed,
Oh wow. I mean, honestly, playing the way that we're playing right now, we can beat anybody. Like, you know what I mean? So, I'm not too scared.
including OKC and Spurs.
Uh, the Spurs for sure. Now, OKC, bit of a tougher matchup for us, I think. But I mean, playing like this, I mean, anything's possible. I'd give us a puncher's chance. I
Yeah.
give us a better chance against the Spurs, but
And the problem Spurs have is they've never even been in the playoffs before with this team. And the problem that the Thunder have is just plain hard to go back to back. I don't care who you are or what area you're in, it's hard. It takes a special team to go back to back. So
yeah.
we'll just have to see. Um, uh, okay, so uh,
Really quick about Jamal Murray. I know you said he might not play like that again,
mhm.
but so the game that the Joker missed that we played them. So not the game before because they ended up beating us, but the game before the last game. He went off in the first half, right?
Mhm.
But then we held him to like I think we held him to like 2 or 3 points in the second half. So, I mean, with the way that we can play defense against Jamal Murray, who's actually ass, um, you know, I, I think we can effectively take him out of the game pretty much against the Nuggets.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We've shown it twice. We've shown it twice now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, just for some reason in the playoffs, Jamal Murray plays like the best shooting guard in the league when he plays the Lakers.
We do need to see it in the playoffs. You're right.
There's just
Yeah,
something about the playoffs and the way Murray plays against the Lakers where it's like he just has our number in the playoffs. So
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
We do need to see it in the playoffs.
yeah. Okay, so guess what time it is? It's time for another break. I'm right back. Okay, so Kyler Murray signed with the Vikings. JJ McCarthy was embattled to say the least last year, and it was his second year, but his first year playing because he missed all of his rookie year.
Hmm.
When I put up the clip of talking when Mitch said last time that Vikings fans have to be patient with JJ McCarthy, all the Vikings fans were like, "What? Hell no! Patient no damn JJ McCarthy. They hate JJ McCarthy." So now they got I mean, they just had to watch the guy that they let go, Sam Darnold, win a damn Super Bowl. And now they got Kyler Murray coming in there. Kyler Murray, talented guy, won the Heisman, but a little guy, like 5'9", and he never really. I mean, he showed. I mean, it's obviously he's a good football player, but the Cardinals never won anything while he was there. And now he's coming to Minnesota. I mean, I don't think there's any question. I for sure think Kyler Murray is more talented than J.J. McCarthy is. So, I mean, how long, Mitch, before Kyler Murray takes that job, or does J.J. McCarthy stand up like a man and go, you know what, I'm the quarterback of the future for the Minnesota Vikings?
I think. I think when you sign a guy like Kyler Murray, um, he's coming in to be the starter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if we had signed a guy like Kirk, um, or like Gino or something like that, um, it's like, okay, open competition, best man can win type of thing. But you sign a guy like Kyler Murray, he's coming in to be the starter. He's got all the talent in the world. Um, just kind of been, a little bit of an underachiever, but obviously he's been on bad teams, obviously. So, he hasn't been, in necessarily the best situation for a quarterback. So, he's going to be coming into the situation that we have. And it should, it should fit, with Kevin O'Connell being whatever you want to call him, the quarterback whisperer, quarterback guru, whatever, whatever. Um, you see what he was able to do for Kirk Cousins' career. You see what he was able to do for Sam Darnold's career. Um, so I'm excited to see what he's able to do for Kyler Murray. Because I mean, you can say that. I mean, um, Kyler Murray's probably more talented than both of them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, arm talent wise, he's um, definitely more of a runner than both of those guys as well. More athletic. I mean, the guy was drafted.
First overall.
Not only was he drafted in the NFL, he was also drafted in the
In
in
baseball.
the in the MLB. I think he went ninth in the MLB draft.
Mm-hmm.
Same year that he got drafted in the NFL, first overall. But um, was the original question? No. How does JJ? I mean, J- uh, I think I do still think we need to be patient with JJ McCarthy. Um, you know, Kyler Murray might not be necessarily the long-term answer. Um, but I think for JJ McCarthy, I think this is actually really good. This is going to help. This is going to help Vikings fans with their patience because now we can be like, okay, you can let Kyler Murray drive and you can let JJ, keep learning like he was, hold on, let's go back because let's go back to last year because even though he was thrust into you know starting for us, he wasn't supposed to play last year. because I think people around the I think people around the organization believe in him. At the same time, they also believe that he needs more time. Again, this guy is, JJ is 22, the youngest quarterback in the league. Keep that in mind for context. Youngest quarterback in the league. So yeah, not every quarterback is going to be Peyton Manning, come in, lock loaded and ready to go. A lot of quarterbacks need to develop. Even though Jordan Love is ass, um, you know, it was good that he got to sit behind, Aaron Rodgers for 3 years, um, and develop into, again, he is ass, but he is a legit starter in the NFL. Like, you know what I mean? So, but I'm sure he had to develop into that. He sat for 3 years behind Aaron Rodgers. So, for JJ, this is good. I expect Kyler Murray to. So they're going to say it's a competition. I expect Kyler Murray to win the competition. Um, and then I expect JJ to, all the pressure to fall off of him. I expect him to continue learning. Um, and I still expect big things from JJ McCarthy. I think, he had a terrible start to the season, but I think to close out the season, I think he got better every game. At the beginning of the season, for example, he had like no touch on his throws. Like he was trying to throw 98-mile fastballs on every single throw. Like, bro, chill, put some touch on that. So I think he got better. He definitely got better at that. He got better at knowing when to scramble, when to hang out in the pocket. Um, so yeah, this is gonna be really good for the Vikings as a team because we're gonna have better quarterback play, more consistent quarterback play. I would hope, I would think, um, but it also set us up for the future with JJ McCarthy being able to learn and develop in the system for more years with more years with Kevin O'Connell holding the clipboard. So yeah, I plus we pretty much stole Kyler Murray for 1 year deal, 1 point for the vet minimum, whatever it's a 1.3 mil or whatever. So we're the way that the team is set up, it's in win now mode. You got a guy like Aaron Jones. He's obviously at the end of his career. Um, got a guy like Jordan Mason. He's entering his prime years. Obviously, we have the best wide receiver in the league. We've got one of the best number two wide receivers in the league in Jordan Addison. T.J. Hawkinson is still serviceable. Um, we've got one of the best left tackles in the league. You know, I look for hopefully our offensive line can be more healthy this year. Uh, we have one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. I mean, the defense last year was absolutely amazing. If we had, more steady quarterback play earlier in the season, we would have won the division. All things, with everything that happened, I mean, we only finished one game out of actually winning the division and making the playoffs. One game. Like, for as up and down as the season was, one game out of, short of winning the division and making the playoffs. So, um,
Yeah,
and hell, it really came down to the effing kick return against the Bears. If, you know, if we stop the Bears shorter, they probably don't score. We probably win that game, and we probably beat the Bears 2 times, and then we're in the playoffs. So, again, I look for I look for us to have a good season next season.
yeah. I'll just say that Kyler Murray is not a reclamation project, right? Nobody questions if Kyler Murray is like actually a talented quarterback or a quality football player when he's. My question is
Hmm.
durability, his size, and
Durability, yeah.
how much how far you can go. with a quarterback who's that small. But he's not Geno Smith. He's not Justin Fields. He's not
Right.
Sam Darnold. He's not, and I would even say I'll put him above somebody like Tua. You know, like he's more talented, I think. Like he's not. Nobody
Oh yeah.
questions if Kyler Murray's a good football player when he's on the field. You watch
He's
against
got
every game, you like, damn, this guy's like the Barry Sanders of quarterback. And you watch on the right,
he's got to he's
the
got
right,
to he's got to stay off the Call of Duty though.
yeah, you know,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I think the Vikings, you know, I think this is their way of telling JJ McCarthy, I don't know about you. Like Mitch said, if they would have signed like Kirk Cousins, even um Aaron Rodgers, there was talk about him, like just some veteran quarterback where it's like, all right, JJ, you're gonna go back to the bench, you're gonna learn for a year, you're gonna develop. But they signed a 29-year-old quarterback who's going to be hungry because he's basically playing on, even though he got his money with Arizona, he's playing
Hmm.
for his
Prove it.
contract.
Playing for
So,
his next contract. Hell yeah.
and they fumbled heavy with letting Arnold go. So, you know,
I can explain that.
but I mean, it's 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 a good signing. It definitely can hurt, but I mean,
Definitely can hurt.
this is probably the worst time be a quarterback in the NFL just because there's no more, let's see what he got.
Sit
Let's
down.
give him two,
Yeah.
3 years. You know, I mean, you're seeing what, they're talking about drafting a quarterback in Cleveland, and it's like, bro, you
Drafted two
drafted two
quarterbacks, didn't
quarterbacks, and that's typical Cleveland Brown shit where it's
they?
like
Hmm.
you drafted Dylan Gabriel in the third, but ahead of Shador, but Shador's like the more promising quarterback, clearly.
Hmm.
But yeah, tough time to be a quarterback now.
right. Okay, listen. We're gonna take one more break, and then when we come back, we're gonna talk about Michael B. Jordan winning the Oscar for Best Actor for his performance in Sinners. All right, so right here at the end, Michael B. Jordan on Sunday won the Oscar for Best Actor for his performance in Sinners. Um, I didn't see it coming as much as I loved the movie, and I thought it should have won Best Picture. Now, to be clear, I only saw one movie from the last Oscars, last year, and it was Sinners.
Sinners?
Yes, right.
Nice. Okay.
So take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. I said before, I thought Sinners was unbelievable. Like I said, it's culturally significant. I think it's almost kind of endearing that white people kind of like don't get it and think it's just a vampire movie when really the vampires were a metaphor, right? Uh, but I think that and Ryan Coogler won his first Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. I can't imagine who would have could have possibly won other than him. Um, but I thought it should have won. I thought Sonny should have won Best Picture. But as far as Michael B. Jordan goes, I tell Galvin this all the time. I've never thought of Michael B. Jordan as a great actor. I've always thought of Michael B. Jordan as a movie star. You know, and so when I was watching the movie, and I watched it a few times, last year when it finally came to streaming. At no point did I think he might actually win Best Actor. I thought he should be nominated, but I didn't think he would actually win. And I didn't see Marty Supreme, but usually when somebody wins Best Actor, it's for a movie that, like, the movie is kind of just about them, right? So like you think of Denzel in Training Day, you think of Russell Crowe in Gladiator, you think of
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Day Lewis in Lincoln, movies like that, right? Where you're like, this
Mm-hmm.
movie, everything is set up for this. This is Oscar bait for this particular actor, right? But Sinners to me, it was more
Mm-hmm.
about the strength of the cast overall and the story and the directing and the writing. But he won, and good for him. I'm happy. I remember when he was on The Wire. I remember when he was on All My
Mm-hmm.
Children. I've heard he's a great guy from Galvez. Galvez interacted with him in his previous job and said he was a great guy. So, Mitch, how did you like? We talked about Sinners last year as a group, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you feel about Michael B. Jordan winning Best Actor?
Um, honestly, kind of, yeah. I mean, I disagree. I remember at the time I disagreed with you. That that he was just a movie star. I told you he was a great actor. you know, um, um, how I felt. Um, but I agreed. I agree that you know, um, in my predictions, I thought possibly Sinners would win Best Picture, and then maybe like I actually thought Leo might take. Um, I thought Leo actually might take Best Actor. Um, you know, I, so
Did you see one bad
so
after another?
I did. So I was about to say. So you saw one, but I saw two movies.
Okay.
So I doubled you up. But luckily, Sinners in one battle, ended up taking all the, pretty much taking the bulk of the awards, the major awards, that is.
Mhm.
So I feel like, I'm like, okay, I feel like I chose correctly. Um, yeah, like I said, I agree. I, before the show, I thought, possibly Sinners could win Best Picture. Then, maybe like, either I thought either Leo or I haven't seen Martin Supreme, but I thought, but Timothy won the Golden Globe for Best Actor, and then he won one more along award season. So I was like, okay, you know, either it's either going to be Timothy or maybe Leo. Hopefully Leo. Um, but end of the day, I was rooting for Michael B. Jordan. I've been following this guy's career since. So yeah, I'm actually a new Wire watcher. So I just watched The Wire for the first time last season. So the first time I actually saw Michael B. Jordan was in the movie Chronicle. I saw him in Chronicle, started following him. I watched Fruitvale Station, saw him in Friday Night Lights.
Mhm.
So, ever since, all those things, I've been, following his career, closely, kind of like, I kind of looked at him like I was watching, watching the TV show Entourage. And I'm like, okay, I'm following this guy's career. Like, okay, what's the next move and everything like that. You know, he gets um he gets Fantastic Four. I'm like, oh hell yeah, perfect. Every when you're watching Entourage, you're like, okay, yeah, he needs a superhero franchise to like really like build up his star power. Unfortunately, Fantastic Four for him, flopped, but he bounced back. Um, coming in with the Killmonger, and man, yeah, he killed it as Killmonger. Absolutely amazing. Um, best part of the, I think he's best part of Black Panther. I actually thought he should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor for in Black Panther. Um, but yeah, I came in, I was obviously rooting for him. So when they announced his name, I felt like I felt like a proud father. I'm like, oh my God! I started yelling. I'm like, whoa, we did it! And obviously, once they said his name, I'm like, okay, that means we're not winning Best Picture though.
Mhm.
Oh man, I was like, yeah, there's no way. Outside hope, still rooting for it, but I was like, yeah, they're not going to give us Best Picture too. But definitely happy for him. Again, I've been following his career for so long. Um, so yeah, man, I mean, damn, amazing. I think they said
Yeah,
this is the tenth black actor to win an Oscar for an acting role.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, this is amazing.
Um, I,
Um,
yeah.
but
Like,
before you go, Galvin,
real quick.
I just want to say, uh, Timothy Chalamet, because he might be about to be the Leo of his era. You know how it took Leo a long time to win.
yeah,
Like so,
right.
Timothy didn't he play he played Bob Dylan, didn't he?
Yeah,
Right. That
I
was
thought he
actually
might get nominated for that.
he.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like he's a hell of an actor. He takes the job seriously. He'll have his
Mm-hmm.
day. He's still so young, you know. And
Yeah.
God was I don't know what you were going to say, but I wanted to ask if you wanted to share what your
Yeah,
experience
no,
was like
I mean,
interacting with Michael B. Jordan.
so when I was working at the hotel, this was 2018, 2019. ish. So he was already well established in Hollywood. So,
Yeah.
he already had, you know, his role solidified in Hollywood as the next big thing.
Mhm.
And we were waiting for his car to get brought up. I was in valet. Man, when I tell you, this guy was probably the most, other than him and Denzel, the most down to earth guy. I was having a conversation with him for like 5 minutes. And it
Amazing.
was like if I was talking to the goddamn fucking janitor. He was so humble and
Yeah.
so nice and down to earth where it was like, so for me personally, like I'll always root for him personally, but it's going to be interesting to see where his career goes from
From
here,
here, yeah.
because he already won the Oscar. He's already shown his range, right?
Mhm.
He's already shown he was the teenager, and then he was kind of the young adult, and now he's kind
Mhm.
of getting older. So, Denzel had that range, right? Where Denzel was a crooked cop, a high school football coach, uh, a dad who hijacked the hospital, and he
Oh,
played. I mean,
amazing.
it's just amazing, right? So,
Mhm.
and as the real powerhouse actors of Hollywood are getting older, like the Tom Hanks, the Neros,
Mhm.
the
Patinos,
Leos, and all that.
Leos, yep.
It's going to be interesting to see who that next batch of powerhouse actors, which obviously Michael B. Jordan, Timothy, you know,
Timothy,
um,
yeah.
but shout out to Michael B. Jordan. Then, you know, goes to In and Out after like a normal guy, and
Like a
like I
normal
said, like
guy.
he knew that that place was gonna be ruckus, and he still went in there and was gracious with everybody. And like I said, like my interaction with him was just top notch. So, um, but yeah, man, it's gonna be everybody had already said he's the next Denzel. In
Mhm.
terms of the power
Top black
actor.
actor. Yeah.
So, and he's already showing his range.
Mhm.
He's in a superhero movie. He's in Sinners. He was in The Wire, and like you had, like
Mhm.
he's just sky's the limit for him, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Shout out.
as long as he keeps working with Ryan Coogler, I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Ryan Coogler gonna do his, gonna keep doing his thing. So,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
I just it's hopefully with what where the world is headed towards, like it just sucks because it's the same thing like for Hispanic actors where it's like we we all get the stereotypical Hispanic roles, and
mhm.
so a lot of black actors get the typical black roles, and I think Chris Rock said it in his monologue in the Oscars one year. He's like, we just want to, everybody, hopefully he can get these roles where it's just like he's not looked at as just the black actor. He's
Yeah.
just looked at as just an actor.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So
I
let's.
mean, yeah.
Okay.
No, and I was just gonna say, I mean, as long as he keeps working with Ryan Coogler, I think, obviously Ryan Coogler's shown, obviously he's shown that he can, write, and write original. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes.
Right. So, Mitch. Yeah. Shout out to Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler and everybody involved with Sinners. Mitch, do you have anything you'd like to say to an old friend of ours?
Yeah, actually, I got him on the other line. Hold on. Here we go. Oh wait, no, you said we ran out of time.
Yeah.
Oh damn. Oh damn. Oh, that sucks. Well, yeah, man. Herbert was, I got Herbert on the other line. Uh, we had been going back and forth during awards season. I was like, oh no, man, I think Michael B. Jordan can take it. I think he's got a chance. And I told him, and especially after he won at the SAG Awards, I was like, oh shoot, hey, legit, he might take it. Watch. Herbert didn't believe me, so he wanted to come on and apologize to me, and tell me that I was right and he was wrong, and he's an idiot. But unfortunately, we ran out of time.
It was,
Sorry, Herbert.
Yes,
it
sorry.
was all the commercial breaks.
Right.
Yeah,
All right. So before
just
we get out
gotta
of
pay
here,
those bills.
just a reminder to hit that subscribe button next to the Complete Podcast Network and to follow the
Yeah,
show on
Herbert.
Twitter
How's
and
that feel?
Instagram at TC Pod Network. You can
You
also
didn't
send
believe.
feedback and mailbag questions to
God did.
completepodcast at gmail.com. We are out.